Today we're going to be graphing lines using x and y intercepts. So we're pretty much doing the same thing as yesterday. The only difference is now we actually have to take those intercepts and put them on a coordinate plane. So I've got two problems here. We'll start with 2x minus 4y equals 4. So the first thing is we'll find that x-intercept. Remember, when we find the x-intercept, we're going to set y equal to 0. And so in order to set y equal to 0, this term's going to cancel out. So all I'm left with is the 2x equals 4. And so we go ahead and solve a little further. So we do some opposite operations here. We divide by 2 on both sides. And then we're left with that intercept of x equals 2. And now we can write the ordered pair for that. Remember, y was 0, it says. Remember, we set y equal to 0. That's why this term's no longer there. And we got x equals 2. So we can write that ordered pair as 2, 0. So now we have to find the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So remember, when we do that, we're going to set x equal to 0. So when we're doing this one, we're going to take this term right here, and that's all we're going to have, because the x term is going to cancel out. 2 times 0 makes 0, so we're just left with this, negative 4y equals 4. And so that's what we'll write down, negative 4y equals 4. And so when we're solving this, we're just going to do that opposite operation. We're going to divide by negative 4. And you do it on both sides. And so what we're left here with is this y equals negative 1. So we can write the answer as an ordered pair. Remember, x was 0, so we can write down 0, negative 1. So when we put 0 in place of x, we get negative 1 for y. Now we're going to take these 2 points, and we're going to plot them on this coordinate plane that I've drawn down below. So for the x-intercept, it was 2, 0. So we go over from the origin 2 spaces, and we put a dot. See, there's the x-intercept. It's where it crosses the x-axis. The y-intercept, 0, negative 1. So we go over 0 spaces, and we go down 1 space, and put the dot. And now we just draw a line between those 2 points. Arrows at the end showing that it goes on forever. And so those are the 2 points that make up that line. So we were able to draw the line, the 2 intercepts. So here's another problem. We have the same sort of situation, x and y, and this time different coefficients, and it equals a constant. So we're going to do the same sort of thing. We're going to find that x-intercept first. So remember, when we find the x-intercept, we want to set y equal to 0, and it will just cancel out this term. This will be gone. So we're just left with that 1/3 x equals 2. So what we can write down is exactly what I just read off there. 1/3 x equals 2. Now, we've got ourselves a fraction. In order to cancel out a fraction, do you remember what to multiply by? It starts with an r. That's right, the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by that reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3/1. Now remember, what we do to one side, we must always do the same to the other. So here we're going to multiply by 3/1. Well, 3/1 is the same thing as 3. So I'm just going to write down 3. And then we multiply. And so we're left with x equals 6. So that is the x-intercept. So we get a 6 for x when y is 0. That is one of the points that we're going to plot. But before we do that, let's find the y-intercept. Remember what we're going to set x equal to? What's the value of x when we're on the y-axis? Well, it's 0. Whenever we're on an axis, we're always going to set the other axis, the other variable, equal to 0. So remember, it's going to cancel out that x term. That's going to be gone. So all we're left with is the 2y equals 2, because 0 times 1/3 makes 0. So we're no longer going to see that term. So we're going to write down exactly what I just said there. We're going to write down 2y equals 2. And then we're going to solve for y. Get y by itself by doing an opposite operation. So the opposite of times by 2y, or times by 2, is divide by 2. And when we do that, we're left with just y equals 1. And so we just write down our x value, 0, and we get a 1 for y. So when x is 0, y is 1. So we can take those points and plot them. So let's do this first one. X equals 6. So we go over 6 spaces on the x-axis, and we put a dot. And then we go over in the y-axis 1 space. Remember, over 0, up 1 just puts us right here. Now we've got our 2 points, so we can draw a line between those 2 points. And once we get that done, we'll put some arrows at the end. The arrows just signify that the line goes on forever in those directions. And that's all we're doing. Well, this is part 1 of 2 parts, and we'll do a couple other problems that seem a little bit more challenging in the next part.